stress has entered our lives like never before. So can you perhaps give us high level commentary or thoughts on, what is the relationship of stress and stress specifically in the Gen Z context, and what does it do to all of us?
Uh, Stress is a fashionable word. We all have stress, right? As you can see. Now, dealing with stress is a key enabler for everyday activity or unleashing the true potential. Stress, if you ask even a child, even people born after 2012, they all talk about stress. I have too much stress, and so on. So it's important to not generalize the word into everything. Okay, which means there is good stress, and there is certain stress necessary for me to do what I need to do, or even motivate me to achieve my outcomes. However, when you are out of balance, which means we misuse our potential, our capability in such a way that we topple over the acceptable level of stress, that's when the problems begin. And obviously anxiety and stress often go together. Yesterday we were in a workshop and somebody said, what happens when I have no stress? So imagine we are put on an island and say you have a month, do nothing, the food will be served to you, and you have no stress. It's likely that we'll get bored in about few days, depending on how our life has been before that, and then we will want to do some activity to just keep going. So remember, no stress or nothing in terms of activity, physical or emotional, will lead to frustration, boredom, or even dissatisfaction with wherever we are, even if it's in Bahamas, a nice island. What happens is as we begin to do physical activity or use our mind for different activities, whether it's work, keeping busy, or trying to solve a complex operational issue or strategic issue, slowly we get out of our comfort zone. As you see going up on the curve, with more activity, the stress increases. And the idea is to optimize it. So a right amount of activity will maintain a right acceptable amount of stress, and it will make us productive. Putting it differently, if I have no stress and I am on the eighth floor of a building and there's a fire alarm, this is not the time to meditate. Some amount of stress is necessary for me to get up and get running and not trying to figure out packing my several bags that I need to carry down. All right. So, stress, when it's zero or with no physical mental activity, will lead to frustration, dissatisfaction, or boredom. When we begin to do those activities to a point, it is healthy and necessary. It's called eustress, EU stress, eustress. And beyond a point, when we topple over and become too busy, too active physically, mentally, emotionally drained, we go into a zone which we call distress. This is hyperactivity and hyperstress. This is where the problems begin. So if you look at areas when we have too much stress, hyperactivity, examples here include anxiety. Okay, now we are going into a zone of anxiety. Anxiety, anger. We also talk about not able to focus, right? That deals, that results in kind of ineffectiveness, and too much of that happens. And at that point, we begin to question our ability and question ourselves. So remember, there is a range of stress that we can tolerate, and that depends on the physical and mental faculties we use. And no stress is not good. The healthy balance is very good. And the prime example is I may be very busy during the day, physically, mentally, emotionally. If I go and sleep well, I reset, I recover from hyperactivity. I'm fresh in the morning, begin to again start with zero or no stress, and slowly I build up, I recover, and the cycle must continue. And the nature has given us the cycle. So that is, in nutshell, stress. Another important aspect of stress is it affects the mind, energy, and the body. So when we are stressed, imagine we are on a road and there's a major accident. Heart rate goes up, we begin to perspire, and a lot of other changes happen, including blood circulation increasing, blood pressure rising, pupils dilating. This is all part of our nervous system. So stress is connected to autonomic nervous system, which runs on its own and prepares us to deal with the stress. And when the stress is gone, we recover through another element of autonomic nervous system, which restores the balance. In simple English, fight or flight, and rest and digest. These are the two alternative or alternating activities that happen in terms of stress and recovery. So while stress is fine as long as we recover.